I see it was a color scheme. I didn't get invited in. Y'all got on this. Okay, I see how we doing it. How y'all doing this week?
We good. How you doing?
Yeah.
Man, it's been a long week in a lot of ways, but I
Really?
appreciate y'all being there for me. Ricardo, what's going on with you, man?
Same old family, man. Family life, man. I'm blessed and out of favor, bro. But man, I appreciate, man, my mini me, man. I'm looking at a lot of like TV shows and stuff for the first time through his eyes, and he's 7, so he's at an area where he's at an age where he can formulate an opinion that I can understand now. So he's breaking down why I should watch what show and what's the call, what's good about it, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just cool to see him just like form, who he is. Like it's just y'all remember, but it's just I don't take it for granted. It's cool.
Diva, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's actually been a rather slow week for me. Right. So I've been home all week. Yay. So yeah, it's been cool. This week has been my self-care week. So that's all.
What have you done? What a self-care week consists
So
of?
this week was I had to get my nails done.
Pow, pow, pow.
I had to get my lashes done today. My hair appointment is tomorrow. So just myself. I had a massage on Monday. My massage therapist comes to the house. So had massage
I hope
on
it's not
Monday.
like some of those videos that I was seeing on.
Stop.
No.
Be good. Be good.
No, this is regular massage.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Now my shoulder still hurts. I don't know. I guess I was really, really stressed because
She got up in there with the chisel.
yes. But that's it. And then Saturday, brunch with a girlfriend, and that's it. And I fly out Sunday. So
Me too.
that's my
Wait a
week.
minute. What time you leaving?
My flight Sunday is probably like late in the day. I try to do late flights on Sunday because I prefer not to travel on Sunday at all. But Sunday, my flight leaves at 4:30.
Oh, if you text me when you get there, because
Okay.
we can go to the Sky Club and get a couple of.
Okay, that'll work. I can do that because I'm going to Grand Rapids. There's absolutely nothing there.
I'm going to a part of Oklahoma, so I hope to see Black Wall Street while I'm there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Yeah.
Ricardo, what you got going for this weekend?
Oh gosh, the weekend. Actually, I just had someone finish our roof, doing some stuff on our roof.
Oh, I remember when we was on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we have someone else, a landscaper, coming by and just doing a whole thing with my backyard. It's not the weed thing. I didn't know up here, man. Weeds is just like see, I'm gonna be 100 with you. I didn't know what a weed was. This is my first home.
Okay.
So I didn't know that the dandelion was a weed. I didn't know how quick they grow and whatever else don't grow, that the weeds have no problem growing. Rain, sleet, snow, they will rise up. So we getting a landscaper to take care of all that and just doing this thing.
Wait.
Mhm.
Those dandelions?
Yeah.
Research them. They have a lot of good, healthy properties that we can use, and we trash them. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Research. You can do tea. You can do
I heard of dandelion tea.
I have
Yes.
heard of dandelion tea.
Yes, and they have a lot of good things that our bodies can use. So before you kill them off,
Okay.
yeah, even if you keep just a little patch.
A little patch, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe. I'm open. I like tea. So
Yeah, look it up, research. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Bob. Professor, what's going on with you? How you doing? How's your week?
Man, it's just been a long week. Just a lot of help and support from a family, doing some of the toughest things that you have to ever do, and you're looking around. See, Sandy co-signs with that. You're looking around and like, yeah, my hey, what's going on, James? You like, man, this stuff that my dad should be doing. But then you start realizing, I guess it's me now. So
Mm-hmm.
But I'm making it, and I appreciate everybody's thoughts and well wishes. So
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good deal. Good deal.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I guess we're ready to kick this show off, and as per usual,
Mhm.
I got questions.
uh-oh,
Right.
uh-oh,
So let's
uh-oh.
get into these questions that I got.
Get
So
ready.
first question, let me start off with we need to regroup on this Black Girl Magic. So
Mhm.
well, let me back up. First of all, let's talk about y'all crazy little friend Kanye.
Oh,
So last week, we briefly talked about Kanye West working on his new album Donda at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Mhm.
So they just announced that he'll work to finish the album in Chicago.
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with Kanye West
Hey, Kelly.
exiting the stadium and doing
Well,
something somewhere else.
that's the real point. He was living at the Benz.
I
They're not gonna let
know.
him live at Soldier Stadium. If
You
you've
have
ever
to live
been
with
there,
it.
it's not. It doesn't seem very friendly to because I went to a game. I went there with the last time the Falcons played up there, and it's a beautiful open outdoor stadium. It doesn't have living quarters. Kanye was camped out in the Benz. They had a shot of him at Atlanta United game, way up in the sky, looking down. He was wilding. So we'll see how this Donda turns out.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
guess. What's up, Ricardo? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's a strange thing with me and Kanye, man.
He's strange.
Yeah, I mean, I could argue that he might have had as good as a 3-album run. That was first 3 albums. I loved Kanye. I loved what he stood for. I loved his music. I still would argue he might be one of the top 3 best producers in any form. I mean, he's that dope, But
Okay.
man, I ain't like none of his albums after 80. I think the 808 and Heartbreak, I didn't like that. And I didn't really
The
like
elevator
anything after.
stuck. The
Yeah.
elevator
Mhm.
stuck on
Now,
like the
having
fifth
said
floor.
that, he'll have a song or two like the album after that. And I'm not the hugest Kanye. I don't keep up with it like that. But the one with the No More Parties in LA, whatever, that was kind of dope. And there's a group I'm in on Facebook. They kind of keep me abreast on some of the later stuff, but I ain't into Kanye like that no more. Having said all that, don't be surprised if I end up showing up to whatever this event he has up
Okay. Okay.
I gotta go. She say go. I gotta go. She's from Chicago.
Okay. All right. Well, moving right along to some real information or real news. So my girl Lizzo, people can really, 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 really be cruel. She has been put through the ringer over the past week. After the new song, rumors with Cardi B and everything. And it's just like, this is the reason why I don't really like peopling. Because, people make you want it. They boy, when they say everybody got an opinion, like everybody got yeah.
Well,
And some people are gonna be ignorant just as long as they asshole face the ground. You understand me? That's how long they're gonna be ignorant. So my heart goes out to her. I hope she doesn't, just throw in a towel and say, forget it and keep it, and do something else because she's very talented. But it's heartbreaking that when someone doesn't fit the norm or fit the criteria that they are just ripped to pieces. Like people can be so mean until the tables are turned. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Well, we team protect we team protect women, and then we team protect black women at all costs over here, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
Lizzo can be annoying like a bunch of other entertainers, but the criticism of Lizzo is always centered around her weight.
Right.
And the thing is, you looking at your mama look like that, your sister look like that, your wife look like that, and 2 of your
Right.
kids look like that.
Yeah.
The one you lay up with every night look just like her.
And so that not only is it just ignorant and cruel, but it's kind of a self-hate thing because it's like you can't doubt Lizzo's talent.
No.
And
Right.
and so I'm not gonna critique her, just like we had that critique of Kanye, and it didn't include anything about his marriage or whatever. It was about his music
work.
that he's made.
Yeah.
If you have something to say about Lizzo, it should be centered on her work. So
Period.
that's all I'm gonna say about that.
And some of them wish they had the confidence that she had.
Right, right.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't nobody who more critical of thick women than a fat man.
Wow, yeah, that's true. That is true. I
You know,
don't. I admit I don't know of any of her music. I don't know of any of her songs, and I don't know. Listen, I'm 46. I can't keep up with everything. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You know, but I know the backlash she's been getting is ridiculous.
yeah.
I don't get it. The only thing that makes sense
I
is
agree,
something you
Sandy.
guys already hit it to. It's people mostly projecting. Most of the people that when I get into it on Facebook, I admit I look on that profile pic and I look in their page a little bit and I go,
Oh, that's why. Okay.
you
You got 4 teeth in your mouth.
issues that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I believe you
Yeah.
know, killer.
Like, whatever. I guess.
Mhm.
But
Sandy's right. People are brave, stupid behind the keyboard.
behind the keyboard. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly. Professor, what you got to say? What's up? What's going on with you?
That's it. I was saying I'm excited because Sha'Carri is going to be able to race the sprinters from Jamaica.
Mhm.
And again, we protect all women and protect all black women. And
Mhm.
so, you know, she was not able to compete in the Olympics. But all I see, and this is, I'm gonna get on my soapbox just for a second, but all I see is how, her best time wouldn't have been the time in the Olympics. She better be glad she missed the Olympics. They would have blown her away. But if you do a little research, what you'll peel back and see is that her best time was the same as their best time going into the Olympics.
Mhm.
And we know that iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So we're going to be cheering for Sha'Carri, but to say
Absolutely.
that she's not going to win because her times are behind the world record times if you don't include FloJo. And that's a whole nother thing when you talk about FloJo's time and the win and what her second best time is. And that's no knock on FloJo because I love FloJo. But
Right.
that record that she made will never be broken because it was aided with a win and it didn't get, it shouldn't have counted. But that's neither here nor there.
Mhm.
Right.
Shout out to Acho for pointing that out. But her times were equal to their times going into the Olympics, except for
Mhm.
the fastest one, and the other two pushed their performance at the Olympics. So it's going to be great and fun to see not just Sha'Carri,
Right.
but a lot of those medal winners that kind of inspired us during the Olympics.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And she got a new dude.
Yeah.
You know, she keep that dude the
Done.
mama.
Okay.
Mhm.
Exactly. So real quick,
Mhm.
I got a question. I just, I have questions. So as guys, what y'all think about this new like crochet bikini thing that's
Oh,
going on?
my goodness.
I've been waiting to ask y'all about this.
I
What's
guess
up?
everything comes back around,
Mhm.
and I have a faint memory of crochet being popular
Thing?
back in the 70s,
Mhm.
and I hope this doesn't become too popular because it's out of control. It doesn't look comfortable, and it looks I don't know, not just the bikinis, but the whole short sets and all that stuff is like,
Uh-huh.
oh, you think that's a real outfit? I mean, I can see it for a cover up, but yeah. Sandy, it's
I'm like
safe.
Sandy. I'm
No,
scared to go.
Sandy, it's safe. It's not.
I
It's
don't know
not.
what I'm talking about.
It's not anything inappropriate but you're just gonna see that crochet halter tops. Crochet is back in all of a
Yes.
sudden, and
It's popping.
yeah, and kind of bell bottoms and baggy clothes are in at the same
The
time.
bell bottoms are coming back. Yes.
Yeah. So some of that stuff is it possible to leave behind?
You know what they say, history repeats itself. So,
Right.
but let me just say, let me mess around and get one that looks half decent. It's going digital. I'm just telling you.
Oh, my brother's gone.
Make
I
it
already know what my brother goes.
Make it happen. So
I think some We That fans would be excited about that. Sandy, they don't make bell bottoms for us. How short are you, Sandy?
I mean,
When you're running, it looks like you're like 5'2".
Oh, okay.
That's
medium short. Like
Yeah, that's like medium short. Okay, Ricardo, any comments on the crochet?
No, man.
No, okay. All right. Moving right along. So, back to sports. So there's a new documentary coming out about Kobe Bryant called Superstar. Which I think, first of all, who's doing the documentary? Because some of these companies, the people that they pick to do these documentaries, it'd be real sketchy.
Yeah,
it's the ABC group. They do a series called Superstars. So they're doing Kobe. It aired last night on ABC, and I think it's on Hulu. So I didn't get a chance, honestly, to watch it yet. So my opinion is going to be limited. But I'm a big Kobe fan, a Lakers fan on the side. So I'm definitely going to watch it.
Okay.
I'm going to watch it, but I might need to have a couple of the homies watch it first and tell me. Because listen, I'm still not over it. I was a wreck that day. I was a wreck on the anniversary. I can't look at any picture. I can look at all basketball pictures, but anything with the family, I can't look at too deep. I just can't do it. I don't think I'll probably never be the same. Never.
Yeah. Okay. I understand that. I probably won't watch it, so I'll just take you all's feedback on how it was.
ATL
We'll report back to you.
Yes, please. Thank you so very much. But on to Atlanta. What about them Braves?
Hey, we talked about their deadline acquisitions. They are working out. They are in first place. They're 13-3. They're on a 9-game winning streak. They doing their thing.
They are.
Even with a limited budget. We talked about how weird it was to acquire so many outfielders, and one of them hasn't even played yet.
Yep.
The bullpen has come together. The starting pitching, is getting healthy. So they're 3.5 games ahead, and the teams that they're ahead of have had historically late season collapse. So I know they're looking at it like, here we go again. The Mets fans are going crazy. Their owner is criticizing the team on Twitter. The Phillies fans are we blowing it again. So that's where life is supposed to be as a Braves fan. So let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Jimmy really kind of said everything. That's my first team. When I was growing up, man, we had the WCBS station, so that was like the only cable. We couldn't afford cable, but if you're from Atlanta, that was our free station. So I'd always see Ted Turner's Colorized Classics, wrestling, and the Braves.
And the Braves.
Man, I think I'll always have my heart. So it's good to see them back on track.
Good deal. Good deal. And Atlanta United.
The five stripes doing their thing. It's kind of similar to the Hawks, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Hawks with our NBA expert in a second. But they fired their coach, and then they went on a run. So now they're almost nipping on getting in the playoffs in the season. When you fire your coach far into the season, and we're far into the season as far as football is concerned, you kind of saying that's it. But it's just been impressive to see them go on this run.
Okay. All right. Hey, well, since we're talking about, NBA and all this fun stuff, we have a special guest. Is that right?
We got a superstar coming in.
Hey. Good evening, Rafael. How are you? We can't hear you.
Your microphone's muted.
If you don't want to talk to us, just say so.
Nah, I'm sorry. I muted it, so I wouldn't.
Hey, Rafael.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I just got to live up to this superstar title that I was given. So.
Hey, we hyping him up.
We threw you in the frying pan. What you gonna do?
All right.
You gonna sizzle or you gonna fry? What's up?
I don't even know the answer to that question.
Okay, well here's another question. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Tell us about Rafael and how you became a draft expert.
Expert is still a high praise, but my name is Rafael Barlowe. From Omaha, Nebraska. I started my website, NBA Draft Junkies. I want to say a little bit around this time, 2016. I was living in Istanbul, Turkey, and I had plenty of time on my hands. And this is always something that I wanted to do. When I was a kid, I mean, I remember as far back as like the Kenny Anderson draft. So I think that was 91.
And you're a little young to remember Chubbs.
What's that? What was that?
I said you look a little young to remember Chips. Is that his New York nickname?
Yeah. I'm actually 42, so
Drink a lot of water.
Because it don't crack.
It don't crack. It don't crack. Wow.
Yeah, I'm 42, so I'm not as young as I look. So but yeah. So ever since then, like the draft was like one of my favorite things to do, and then I'm one of these people that, I mean, some people may call it arrogance, but I think like I can do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
that's how we should feel.
Yeah, I feel like if there's something that like a website or whatever, I feel like, you know what, I can do it. I can figure it out. So I taught myself how to make my own website and everything. Everything is pretty much self-taught. So the last years when things really started to take off. So I'm one of these people that COVID was actually good for me.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. My theory was with COVID, either you take advantage of it, the free time, or you can kind of just let it get to you. And for me, I just took advantage of it. I started a podcast, which was something that had been on my mind for a while. Started it, then I was just cranking out episodes after episodes. I mean, I think between May and September, I think I did like 85 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're trying to get Diva on that schedule to do 85 episodes in the next 3 weeks.
Oh, wait.
Don't pay him no money.
So yeah, that's when things really started to kind of take off for me was last year when I had a bunch of time, and I was actually living in China when everything kind of took place. And so I came back thinking I was only going to be in the States for like 2 weeks, and I haven't been back to China. So
are you planning on going back?
At some point. I mean, not to live. Like I was living in Beijing, at least for a basketball season. I was living in Beijing, but no, it's too tough to get back into China. I mean, my friends that went back, yeah. I mean, their quarantine was 30 days, and it's 30 days in a hotel where once you close the door, you can't open. It's like a 30-day prison sentence. And you can't even, I mean, no fresh air, no balcony, nothing. You're just in a hotel room, and they literally like drop the food, on the I guess the hotel workers will like knock on the door, let you know they're coming. They'll drop some food down, and you don't have a real choice of what to eat. And yeah, like 30 days of being in a room, I can't do that. So,
that's locked up abroad to me.
Yeah,
that's what that's like.
It really is.
I remember when I was in Shanghai and Hong Kong. So you go to Hong Kong and everything is all westernized, and most people can speak English. It's some restaurants you look. There's a lot of visitors there. We went to Shanghai and they were like, you're like, oh, we see McDonald's and we see this. And the people there, they just couldn't speak English at the same rate as they could in Hong Kong. So, and out of all the languages I've tried to learn, Chinese is the hardest.
Yeah, but it depends on what part of Shanghai you were in. So Shanghai is probably more Americanized than Beijing, but I was living in like the business district. So the hotel or the apartments that I lived in were connected to a hotel where all the flight attendants stayed at. And
cool.
So it was like a pocket of, there was Subway, there was Starbucks, there was Pizza Hut, everything was there. So I didn't really have a hard time adjusting.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's what's up. Okay. You want me to start or you want to start? I can start.
I got it.
Okay,
because I got questions. Good. So, which teams do you feel like won the NBA free agency?
Free agency? That's a good question. That's one I haven't really thought of. I mean, free agency this year was a little different because there weren't
Yeah.
a lot of the top free agents available.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously the Lakers retooled. I mean, I think there's only 4 guys left from the team that won a championship, which is crazy to me because on pace last year I thought to be really good, and I don't really understand the purpose of breaking up a team that was on. I mean, the only thing that really messed them up was injuries. It wasn't like they had chemistry issues. So I'm curious to see how this revamped lineup works. I thought Charlotte did good in free agency. I thought the Knicks made some decent moves, but I can't really say
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
team that I feel like really just put themselves in position to be a contender in free agency.
Okay. So who dropped the ball? Who just
Well,
may or don't feel
I'm a
that I this
Blazers fan, so it hasn't been the best off season, but I mean, to be honest, I knew that there was not a lot of moves that they can make. They're pretty much kind of hard capped. They're stuck.
okay.
Um, the Timberwolves didn't really do anything. They pretty much stayed the same. Dallas, I mean, I live in Dallas, and they've been getting a lot of criticism for their lack of moves. I mean, they still could maybe pull off a Lauri Markkanen deal. I don't know exactly how well he fits, but Dallas was disappointed because a lot of people thought that they were going to get, from DeRozan to. I mean, there were some rumors that they thought Kawhi may come. Now they thought they were going to get Dragic, but it doesn't look like Toronto is just willing to just give him up for nothing. And he's going to have to accept a pretty significant buyout if he wants to get out of that deal. So. Dallas just has to hope the progression of their players kind of puts them in better position.
Yeah, that would be a weird thing to have Markkanen and Porzingis together, right? Because a lot of their skills duplicate. And I mean, hopefully, I guess the Mavs are hoping that Jason Kidd can pull whatever is inside Porzingis out. So yeah, that's shout out to our Dallas family. But yeah, that was a weird thing. And I always make this comparison. Just like it was hard to build a team around LeBron because he plays a non-traditional ball dominant position, I think it becomes harder to say, we know Luka is like our power point guard, but how do we build a team around him that meshes, right? Because if you think he needs ball handling help, who wants to go there when he's one of the most ball dominant guys? So Luka's talent is without question, but I can see how hard it is to, as a general manager, to build a team around Luka.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can build around him, and I'm probably a little bit biased because I've been watching Luka since he was like 18 years old. I lived overseas, so I had a chance to watch him before other people did. I know, for example, when he played for Real Madrid, he shared the ball with a guy named Sergio Llull. Sergio Llull was the MVP that season. And the only reason why Luka won MVP and had the ball in his hands the next season was because Sergio tore his ACL, and then they had to give the ball to Luka. Then you look prior to going into the NBA, he shared the ball with Goran Dragic, and Slovenia won Euro. I think it was EuroBasket in 2000. Sheesh, what year is that? 2017, and he played on and off the ball. So I think he can. It's just a matter of, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it's kind of been overstated because they lost to the Clippers 2 years in a row. I thought they could have had him this year. Porzingis even had a really good season. He averaged 20 and 8. It's just he kind of disappeared in the playoffs. And I just think that they just need one more shot creator. And they have to find that before, I guess this was a summer to find it before Luka's extension kicked in. But yeah, I mean, they're just in a weird predicament. They're gonna have to find someone that can create their own shot, and the roster is pretty much a bunch of guys that are 3-and-D guys that need him to create everything for them.
Yeah.
Roger would be
Another team, Diva, that I thought had a terrible free agency offseason is the Pelicans. I think it's a lot of confusion about what their plan is down in New Orleans, and some dissatisfaction from Zion and his family. And so
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Get us in trouble.
Thank you for getting us straight on that.
Be clear.
But when you get to that point, it's almost like the franchise is auditioning. So when Trey and Luka signed their Supermax extensions, the franchise is no longer auditioning, and they can really concentrate on building the best team. With New Orleans, it's almost like they're on that walking on the eggshells. And if they really didn't do anything this offseason to take themselves off of those eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think stability is everything. I mean, this is their third coach in the last 3 years.
Yes.
That that part is tough to do. Now, I personally think Zion is tough to build around, and the reason I think Zion,
I agree.
He's really a center,
right?
But he has there's wings that are taller than him, and he doesn't necessarily rebound like a 5, and he doesn't protect the paint like a 5. So you're gonna have to find a complementary piece that's like a center that can stretch the floor, that can also rebound and block shots, and those guys are tough to find.
So Rasheed Wallace. So we just need to find. Yeah, hey, Rafi, I see why they call you a superstar. You hit it right on the head. The same situation, a ball-dominant, non-traditional ball handler. Then how do you figure that team out? And so, I agree with everything you said there.
Well, let me ask you, Barlowe, what do you think about the Hawks, particularly their draft efforts? What did you think of their draft? I felt like, I'm biased. That's my other opinion. So I was like, they won the draft. It's easy. But I trust your opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, they definitely. So I did a live draft show with Chat 4. I don't know if you remember Chat 4 from ESPN. So we did a podcast earlier today, and it was basically a recap of Summer League. And I made the comment. I said, man, the Atlanta Hawks have put themselves in position to get the next superstar that wants to change places. They have the best package available. I mean, I already had a pretty good deal with Reddish and Okongwu, who I'm high on.
Very high on.
We had Jalen Johnson, who was really good, and Sharif Cooper on top of, whatever wings that they want to give up. They can put themselves in position to go get Bradley Beal. So when I made the comment to Chad on this podcast, he said a general manager from a team in the Eastern Conference said the same exact thing, like that, whoever comes available, whether it's Lillard, even though it may not be the best fit, or Bill, or whatever superstar wants out, no team, maybe Golden State, but no other team can offer a better package for a superstar. So the Hawks are in a really, really good position. And I know this is like an Atlanta-based show, but I wanted to give a shout out to my guy. He just celebrated his 29th birthday yesterday, Bogdanovich. So
all right,
happy birthday.
I talked to him briefly yesterday. So when I lived in Turkey, Bogdan was the first person I met.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So
what's he like?
What's he like?
Yeah.
Bogdan is one of these guys where he's so down to earth. Like, there's nothing about him that screams NBA player. I mean, like, so when I met him, it was like around this time, 2016. He had just came off of leading Serbia to the silver medal. They just lost to the US in the Olympics, maybe like 2 to 3 weeks before. So I get to Turkey and go out to dinner with one of his teammates, and he's just sitting there talking to me, like, and everybody, like, Bogdan in Turkey is like LeBron, and he's not Turkish, but he won a lot of championships in Turkey. He had a lot of buzzer beaters. He was known for making clutch shots. So he's just like this guy that they love in Turkey, on top of the fact that he looks like a kid, has the baby face and all that. So, it's just everybody loves him, and literally all Bogdan does is work on his game. And I think at one point he was like one of the best. I forgot what game it was, but some video game. He was ranked as one of the best in the world at this particular video game.
Oh, wow.
He's a guy that you would probably never see outside the basketball court.
Wow.
Like, I've never seen like anyone like literally tag him on a photo, like him at the mall or anything like that. plays video games, and I think his sister stays with him, and he's just a real laid back, down to earth guy. I haven't actually seen him. The last time I saw him was in China. It was at the World Cup 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we sat by each other. We sat I sat by him at a few games, but no, Bogdan's a great dude.
We love Bogey down here in Atlanta, and when you look at guys who have more to give as growing their game, that second half of the season, Bogdanovich is right below that elite player level, which is what we need to get to advance more in the playoffs. And it was his first time in the NBA playoffs when you get with a franchise that never goes to the playoffs. So that was even though he's a veteran of the European champions, the Olympics, that was his first time at that intensity. He got injured a little bit, but I could really, 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 really see Bogdanovich's game growing next year in the regular season and the playoffs. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, he was injured the first half of the season, so he finally got a little healthy. I still think there's things that he can do that you don't really see. He's kind of put in a box as a shooter.
Right,
he's European and he's white, but Bogdan is really good in pick and rolls.
Yeah,
he can run the side pick and roll.
Yeah,
because Trey missed some time with a little injury, and we won every game, and really because of Bogdanovich.
Right, sure did.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think once they unlock that, then he becomes that secondary ball handler, creator that Atlanta needs. So the future is bright in Atlanta. It's crazy. A year ago at this time, nobody would have thought that the Hawks would have one of the brightest futures in the NBA. So, and this draft just kind of, it's just a combination of luck. Those guys fell to them.
Had no business falling.
No.
I had no business falling.
I was hoping we could get Sharif with our first pick. I'd have had no.
And when we got Jalen Johnson, you're like, well, I see why they picked Jalen Johnson over Sharif, but Sharif is going to go somewhere and be good. And then when we got him, it was like, is this real?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the second half of your statement and the GM statement about the Hawks having the most assets is this. The Hawks have the most assets that they can trade and still be good, right? Because you could trade, LeBron and Anthony Davis for Ben Simmons, but you're not going to be good. But the Hawks have the asset package to put together and the guys to still be good.
Yeah, they can trade very good assets and not change their starting five.
Right.
Wow.
I gotta ask him this.
Go ahead.
So if you were the GM of the Hawks, I'm sorry, we're gonna do a little bit of Hawks.
Okay.
What would you do if you could? Because you got a good mind.
What would I do? Yeah. I'm definitely seeing what the Bradley Beal situation is like.
That's your first choice?
That's definitely my first choice. Trey, Bill.
Offensively. Offensively. I don't know. I've actually learned this from you. It seems like everything is about relationships in today's league. And I want a guy that wants to be in Atlanta. Like, I've never heard any rumblings or any, of any rumors of him wanting to, hey, hook me up in Atlanta or Trey's my guy. But I have heard that about a guy in New Orleans. I was under this strong impression that when he got drafted for the New Orleans Pelicans, that Zion, New York was his first choice and Atlanta was his second. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm going with I'm going with who's going to help me win right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Bradley Beal is he wants to win. Bradley Beal is he's made his money. He's about to, he's not trying to build a brand for himself. At this point, he's done enough losing. Yeah. He's a veteran. He's ready to come in and win. Atlanta's still a young team.
They are.
And they don't really, I guess you can say the veterans are Lou Will, who I think is, obviously he's a veteran. He's been around forever. But Bill puts them in the category of, all right, this is a real
contender. Yeah, especially from a get bucket perspective.
Oh, yeah, and he's healthy. I think like even with Zion, I think like Zion and Capella, I just think Zion needs to be paired with a floor spacer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Who else do you think hit the NBA draft? I know people are overreacting to summer league stats and results, but who else had some great fits in the NBA draft that's going to impact the playoff race?
Ooh, that's tough. I thought Charlotte had a pretty good draft. I don't know if it's going to really make that big of a difference because I think the East is tougher this year than in years past. I like Book Knight. I definitely liked him there. But even then, like if they, I mean, at the best case scenario, he's their sixth man. I mean, they just signed Rozier to 97 M's, and Hayward, they paid him 120. So, I thought Charlotte had a pretty good draft. I like what Houston did in the draft, even though I would have taken Sharif over Josh Christopher. I'm just not a really big Josh Christopher fan. I thought, trying to think who else. I mean, I guess like on draft night, I felt like the Hawks and the Hornets and the Rockets had the best draft. But I mean, I was in Summer League, and after Summer League, I mean, you have to say that Atlanta probably had the best between Atlanta and Houston. I mean, I'm big on Alperen Şengün. He's the one that I had watched years ago. I thought he had
gosh, they got a steal there. I think teams are going to have to go back and explain how they missed on him. And still, it was just surprising. It was really surprising with the success that these tough European League guys have had for him to drop through teams that could really use that presence. And I think his game has even more space to grow. And you saw some glimpses of that in the summer league.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like what made his summer league so good, in my opinion, is, and I've watched this film extensively. I mean, I've seen him play in person, and he's really like a throwback low post threat. But Houston ran this summer league roster of no point guards, just a bunch of combo guards that like to shoot. So he didn't really get a chance to get the ball in the low post. He didn't get post touches. He's a guy that does a lot of his work early in the possession by hustling down the floor, establishing position. So he had to kind of get points in a different way. It's a few plays that stood out to me where he would get the ball at the 3-point line and he would just call his own ISO play and drive. And he started shooting threes. He had to get his points on like offensive rebounds, and he still had a really productive summer league despite, in my opinion, not being fully used to his strengths. I know John Wall is probably not in their long-term plans, but he's the only one on that team that I feel understands like, okay, we got to get the big fella some touches on the block.
Right. Yeah, you got to feed that big man if you want the other stuff.
Yep.
I thought a good fit for what they're trying to do and what they need is I like the Nets getting Cam Thomas. He's not for everybody or for every team, but for that team to be able to work with that group of ISO players and just to give them some more scoring punch off the bench. His goal has to be, I got to get in the top 8 or top 9 before the end of the season because Steve Nash wasn't very bench play in the playoffs. So, but if he can get that trust, it makes them even more dangerous and allows, you need insurance because Kyrie Irving hasn't played a full season in quite a while. James Harden has missed more games over the last 2 years than he did over his career coming in. And, KD is not going to play every game. I don't think very many superstars are going to play every game going forward. But, I think he was a good insurance policy that they can develop. And those guys did a great job of mentoring players that weren't quite at Cam Thomas's skill level. So that's going to be fun to watch. Maybe not so fun, Hawks fan.
Until he waves one of them off to go ISO. And if there's a rookie that will do it, it's him, because that's his game. He only knows how to play one way. Like he's not offering anything else but buckets. So
right.
If he's on the court with Harden or KD or Kyrie, because he's going to be on the court with one of them when they stagger the lineups. Don't be surprised when he waves one of them off and says space the floor. That's when it might be a problem.
You're looking for that now.
Right.
Hey, this is a good question. I like this. When I wrote this one, I was like, oh, this is good. He's going. All right. who would you say is your NBA League Pass team going to be this year? And what I mean by that is the team that people aren't talking about now, but boy, in about 6 months, they're going to be like, man, this team is that they are an exciting watch. Who's that NBA League Pass team for you?
Houston.
Houston.
Yep.
Wow.
Jalen Green I think that he's going to have a really good year.
Mhm.
Then I think it's going to be the point where as the season goes on, you're going to start seeing they're going to compare Jalen Green and Kate Cunningham
The
all
whole
year long.
time.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time.
So
yeah.
it's going to be like, back in the day, just to show my age again, Kidd and Grant Hill in 94.
Right.
Then
Right.
LeBron and Carmelo, then
Wow.
Luka and Trey,
Yeah.
Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell that year.
Mhm.
So I think as the season goes on, you're going to start seeing Green put up some ridiculous numbers because both teams, I imagine, are not going to be in the playoffs and are going to be looking to try to add more ping pong balls, but they're also going to be trying to do the marketing aspect of who can have the rookie of the year. So I think you're going to start seeing some ridiculous numbers from Jalen Green as March, April, late season.
Yeah, but when I see Jalen Green, I see him as that kind of player. I see a little LeBron in him in the sense that shooting 40 shots, is that going to be him? What's your thoughts on that? Or am I wrong on that?
I'm one of these people that nobody's wrong because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like the weatherman isn't right, and so I don't really like not
right
different opinions on, especially like in the draft, what a player is going to be. Because I tell people all the time, in 2013, there's probably one person that said Giannis is going to be really good, and everybody else would have been like, "Man, you crazy." So you just never know.
The funny thing is, I wanted Giannis, but I would be lying if I ever thought I would say that he would be this. I did. Yeah. I wanted Giannis to be that hustle guy who could develop into an NBA guy. Who knew he could be the 2-time MVP in the finals?
And he wanted Atlanta. I don't know if you heard the story. He thought he was going to be a Hawk.
Yeah. The hardest thing about watching the finals for Hawks fans was Giannis versus Chris Paul, the other guy that got away. We thought,
gosh, we can't talk about this until Chris Paul is retired for 5 years.
Yeah. Every time I see Marvin Williams, which you probably actually really know Marvin Williams, so I don't
know.
Every time I see Marvin Williams, I be like,
hey, I'm a Blazers fan, so
okay.
Right.
Kevin Durant,
Oh man. And I always argue what Odin could have been and what Roy could have been. Roy, yeah, could have been. Brandon Roy could have been. I thought he was. Even Kobe was like, "Man, he's that dude. He's that dude."
They were like 50 and 12 when Odin, Roy, and LaMarcus all played together. So
the Roy story comes back up for Hawks fans, Rafael, is when we saw Hunter having those knee problems. We were like, for this young guy to have arthritis problems, you can't cure arthritis. So we hope that he can come back and be good. But the Brandon Roy story scares us Hawks fans because Hunter hasn't been as good as Roy was at that point, but he was trending that way the first half of the season.
Yeah, if I'm a Blazers fan, so I remember. Most people probably don't remember, but he had some issues coming into the NBA, but it was 2009, I believe, and he tore his meniscus on like the last week or two of the season.
Sound familiar?
And Grant Hill told him not to play because Grant Hill was playing for Phoenix, and the Blazers ended up playing the Suns in the playoffs, and he was being the warrior of I'm coming back. The meniscus is a little tricky. Sometimes you come back in 2 weeks and they can shave it, whatever. And he came back and tried to play in the playoffs, and he was never the same after that. So, you don't want to say it was. But I'll just say it like this: by him trying to help the team out, he shortened his career because he should have just sat out and thought long term. And sometimes you need doctors to protect these guys from themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Rafael, final question for you. Go give you a second to think about.
This is it. I'm running out of time. This has been fun.
Doing great, man.
Who's your conference finals, and then who's playing in the finals?
Oh man,
Way too early. Way too early. We're not going. We're gonna bring it back during the real NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I still think Brooklyn is tough to beat if they're healthy. Brooklyn. I still think a healthy Brooklyn team is hard to beat. Yeah. And I mean, they really almost beat the Bucks without being full.
Right, without any, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Kevin Durant were a little smaller size shoe, it could be a different story. In the West, now I'll be honest, I'm biased. I cannot stand the Lakers. My favorite team is the Blazers and whoever plays the Lakers. So it
he ain't lying, but he keeps it real though.
Okay. And I end up like there's this Lakers podcast that had me on every single day during the bubble. I don't know, and I'm not saying this because I don't like them, but I just don't understand that fit. I mean, if you remember how they were guarding Westbrook in the bubble, they weren't guarding him.
Right.
And then they go bring him in, and so I think the team I think they have too many guys that I don't know. It's hard for me to see Westbrook toning down his game as much as he says he is. He's a guy that only knows how to play one way. He likes to play fast to avoid playing in a half court because he can't shoot. Brian likes to walk the ball up court. So that's going to be interesting. I'm trying to think. Like, I still don't believe Phoenix can do it again. I think that was like an outlier year because they were healthy. They were like the only team that was healthy the entire year.
And Chris Paul is going to be a year older.
I can't bet against him anymore. I thought he was done in Oklahoma City.
I don't mean it as a done thing, but as he can't play as many minutes, and some of that at the end of the playoffs, it was like, did we play Chris Paul too many minutes in the playoffs regular season?
Well, Dago Bauman asked, "Is Utah in the
what's that?"
Dago Bauman, he asked, "How close is Utah? Is Utah a considerable threat?"
I don't know. I mean, they pretty much brought the same team back. I guess they added Rudy Gay. I don't know. I mean, Utah's a team every year you think they're close. And then this year, I thought this was their year. If there was a year to capitalize.
It opened up for them, and they didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers just got hot from three, and they found a way to take Rudy out the paint.
Good night.
The West is going to be wide open.
I agree. I hear some chirping about Denver, and it's just hard to see. I know Jamal Murray was out, but to see how non-competitive they were against the Suns, man, that's a leap to say that one player is going to make them. So, yeah.
Jamal Murray is a different guy in the playoffs. Playoff Jamal Murray is a lot better than regular season Jamal Murray.
True.
Good point.
So I think it's going to be wide open. It's tough.
It's too early. You're right. It's too early. There's still things that we don't know.
We're definitely going to have you back for the NBA season.
Yeah.
I learned a lot listening to you. We could do a whole podcast of your travels, and this is for me, a guy who lived outside of the United States for 6 years. But I got a million questions for you, and we would love to have you back. Thank you for coming on with us.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It's always fun to. I mean, this is like what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. So, I mean, like,
it's fun.
Yeah, have an opportunity to just talk basketball is always fun to me. So, anytime you want me on, let me know.
Thank you. Just let us know where we can find him.
We that fans. It's been scrolling across the screen the whole time.
I know.
YouTube, NBA Draft Junkies, Instagram, our Barlowe, Twitter, Barlowe 500. So follow him. If you follow us, you should follow him because we follow him. So, it's just a great synergy and great to have an expert on here to get Ricardo straight about the NBA.
Thank you. Anytime. Hopefully, I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully, I'll spend this next basketball season scouting in Europe.
Okay. All right. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said that's going to be great. So hopefully we can get some contact with you then.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
the timing might be a
Raphael.
little weird, but I'll still do it.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ralph.
Sounds
All right,
good.
no problem.
Thank you,
having me on.
Raphael. We
Thank you. No
appreciate it.
problem. Yep.
Man, he was awesome. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are awesome too.
Hey, man, great show. Great show.
Yes, great show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Steve, I'm sure you got 4 or 5 inbox messages already.
I don't even know how to check my inbox. I don't even.
Boss
I
Diva,
better leave you alone. Leave it alone.
shout out your podcast because we get a lot of questions about it.
Oh, yep.
So my podcast is Good Girlfriends, and it's honestly like you would go to your girlfriend's house and you sit around and you drink wine and you just talk about whatever. That's what we do on the podcast. It's no holds barred and it's no judgment zone. So we just talk like girls do. We talk about y'all.
Good things, I hope.
Oh yeah, all good things. All good things.
Wink, wink.
Anything you want to add, Mr. Billingsley, before we close out, sir?
No, thank you. See you next week. I'll be broadcasting from the road, but we definitely gonna do a show.
We're gonna do a show.
I have one little quick thing. So I am also a part of a Black Golf Association league. So maybe one day we can bring on.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And
Let's
talk
do
some
that.
golf because we talk about all sports. It don't matter what it is.
We do.
Yeah.
Hook it
We'll
up.
talk about some golf.
Well, for myself, Boss Diva, and Jameed, the professor, we want to thank Rafael Barlowe for joining us once again. And we want to thank
Absolutely.
you
Thanks,
guys
Raphael.
for watching us. And until next time, peace up. A-Town down.
Woo!